So I'm just trying to think what to say about this whole Fenord stuff after all these years. I posted some of these videos and tried to do justice to the validity of the information about it. And to this day, I really haven't got much traction on it. Um, I've tried to talk to a lot of people. I figured if I make some videos, it would become more common knowledge about how they're using ovals and the other little elements with it to represent the eye of Satan, and more recently came to the realization that they're using that triple slash beast mark with ovals, circles, and rings. Uh, so I was questioning for a long time, like, is this the mark of the beast? And I don't think it is the mark of the beast because, Revelation 14, it says the mark of his name. And his name will equal 666. And it does describe three elements, seemingly, when I read the King James Version Bible. It talks about the name of the beast, the number of the beast, and the mark of his name. So I think what Fenords are is like a placeholder, a temporary mashup or something to kind of rally behind or something. But ultimately, I think I think it's a good indication of the the people out there that are part of it, that it's not some small fringe group of Satanists or whatever, that it is global. You see it, I see it, like in all these different countries, places you wouldn't expect, and like everywhere I've looked, I've seen it pretty much. And there's a lot to say about that, I suppose. Like, just what's the feasibility of seeing this mark in like China and then Iran, America, the Oval Office, um, in Canada, look at the flag of Ontario, you know, among many other instances. Seen it in Mexico, you know, just this range of places, Russia, whatever, all these places. It's very unlikely that that would be the case, conventionally thinking, that they would have these people everywhere, but it is there. And any rate, I don't have any like bullet point notes to go over anything, but I guess really what I wanted to get on here to say was that I'm trying to do something with this information. I feel it's kind of a responsibility, since I became aware of it, that I should do something with it. In the Bible it says that nothing will remain secret, that everything done in the darkness will be brought into the light, and that I feel like that's what I'm trying to do with it. Um, it hasn't been very effective, which really made me kind of question, like, um, should I be putting this information out? Is it like a timing type of thing or something? Is it not supposed to happen yet, where people become aware of this? And I've had over the years like a kind of like a frustration, I guess, of seeing every ridiculous thing being considered for the mark of the beast or whatever, and but you can see like the all-seeing eye placed on the forehead and the right hand, and yet nobody's talking about that at all. It's really weird. But they'll talk about a microchip and barcodes and anything else, vaccines, and I can see why they would crawl out on those branches to make those connections or whatever. It it makes sense why they would try to do that, I guess. But what doesn't make sense is when you see something that's glaring in your face, all seeing eye on the forehead, it's on the right hand, on the forehead, on the right hand, just over and over and over again on cartoons and a lot of different media, movies. It's everywhere when you think to look for it. The eye of Shiva on the forehead, and now they put the eye on the hand. It's like, okay, there's an eye on the forehead and the hand. Why don't they ever talk about that? You know, really strange. But there hasn't been many instances. I'm kind of rambling a little bit. I just figured I should get on here, talk about it. There hasn't been many instances where I've seen ovals on the right hand forehead, but I have seen it. Um, one instance, I guess, is the Nelson Mandela made the videos about how there was parallels to Antichrist Nelson Mandela. He had the number 4664 or whatever, 6664. He had it like on a hat, so they'd have it on the forehead, and then they had this bracelet thing you'd wear on your hand with that number on it. And then they had these posters that you see the video that I made or whatever, where it's like this hand has got the oval on it, and they're saying it's in your hands. Like this double speak, like you're supposed to, like you have some sort of influence in the world or something, but they're trying to show you that it's a beast mark in your hand or whatever. And it was just an oval that they had placed on the hand or whatever. At any rate, I mentioned earlier that I think that it's like a placeholder, and I think the same thing's true with like the Baphomet being like a placeholder for the image of the beast, and how the two crescent moons from the Baphomet are incorporated into these elements that are used with ovals as this Eye of Satan beast mark or whatever. I think it is marching in the direction of the beast mark. I think there's like a desperation sort of to try to implement it, and that they're really, I think that's where this whole impetus behind Fenord's coming from. And it says the spirit of the Antichrist is in the world at work, and I think that's definitely what you're seeing with this whole Fenord thing. Um, I think that's one of the big takeaways here is that there is the drive, there is this push to try to implement a beast mark, and it's visible everywhere currently around the world. And I also think that that's can only happen by the influence of Satan and everything under his control or whatever. Like he's supposed to be kind of running the world a little bit at this point for now. And I think this is evidence of it, that they could implement this beast mark. Well, that they're trying to put this Eye of Satan mark everywhere, trying to put in place a beast mark type thing. Now, I don't know if they're going to incorporate elements of it later or something. They may not. But it's notable that they're trying to go in that direction, I guess. So, if I can gather my thoughts better, maybe I'll try to be more succinct about what I'm trying to say later. Try to keep making more videos. I think the algorithm thing expects you to show your face or whatever for it to actually show your videos more. I used to get a lot of views on here, but definitely think there was some shadow banning element going on. Anyways, so I think that's pretty much all I got to say for now.